Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, June 4th, 2026. How is everybody? Russell, 84, but not humid. Yeah. Like in the 70s here today, so I'm okay with that. A little chilly in the morning, but it's all good. So let's see what we got cooking today. Raleigh Pen Show, Triangle Pen Show underway. I've already received images this morning asking if I wanted to buy certain things, to which I have politely declined. Only because, if money were no object, I could have done some damages. Done some damages? I could have done some damage. Some cool stuff. So it's in the 50s overnight. Yeah, it's cool overnight. Although in our house, it's the temperature upstairs it gets pretty hot. It won't cool down very well, so we got to run the air conditioner. It'll get about 74, 75 degrees, and then it just won't get much lower than that. But anyway, we're gonna hop through some pens today. I want to try to get some things done. I'm kind of getting down to the dregs of society here. So we're going to work on that trade we started yesterday. And I've got my ultrasonic already running. And then I've got 4 desk pens that I want to test, look at, fix, so I can start getting these desk sets off my counter. So we're gonna do that. Hopefully we can make some progress on these snorkels and touchdowns and 51s, and then we'll go from there. Reminder that pretty immediately following this stream will be the normal weekly podcast around 4:15, 4:30. And that'll be my last one for a few weeks. So we're not 100% certain what's going to happen. Next week it'll be Lisa and Lindsay, and the week after that, I don't know, they may do something in Denmark, but I won't. I'm not going to do it by myself. So they may do something in Denmark. Well, we shall see. But anyway, let's take a look at what's on the bench. This is where we left it yesterday. I just pulled a few pieces out of the ultrasonic. This guy we got to try to get open. Did I bring my podcast clothes to change into? Yeah. I don't really have 2 sets of clothes. But that'd be something, huh? We're gonna get this piece apart. This goes here. We're gonna change out this sack. I brought my different pair of glasses. How's that? I hate that this. I'm gonna hang on to put this. These are tough, so I'm gonna just kind of. Well, that's not too bad. I'm gonna slide that on, so at least I got a little bit something of a handle while I try to take this out. Here we go. There we go. These can be a little bit difficult to get out, but you use your gripper square, you can kind of twist it out. I'm going to drop this back in the ultrasonic. And usually for these, I just hang on to it and I'll try to turn the collector, and then that will usually get you where you need to do. Now that they're apart, they might clean up just a slight little bit better. Pull that off. I'm going to do the same thing here. Hold this in while I heat it. I don't know if we're going to be able to get this off. This has been soaking overnight. Maybe we got to soak it. Got these Nalgene jars, but boy, they don't open at all. They're really difficult. I can't get it open. This is a job for 2 gripper squares here. Ink Dependence, how you doing? What's cooking, Mike? Welcome aboard. Aren't you getting ready to go to the Raleigh show? Or shouldn't you, I should say? That's tomorrow. Oh, well, I got pictures. I got pictures of the show today. Isn't something cooking today? Hey, Gabriel. I'm going to throw that in there. See what happens. Whoa, that thing is hard to get open. Holy cow. There's not much there on Thursday. Went out last year and it wasn't worth the drive. Oh, that's probably out. It's a bit of a drive for you then. I don't have any concept of how close it is to you. I did get some nice pictures of a couple things for sale. There's a Parker Whirliclean there. Oh, an hour each way plus traffic? Yeah, that's a little bit like on the edge, isn't it? little bit too far for going there for a little bit. All right, well, we'll see what this does here. If that doesn't work, then we're just going to replace it. There's generally some vintage folk set up on Thursday, but that's not your thing. Yeah, it's not. You wouldn't choose to drive an hour. I get it. I get it. Vintage isn't your thing. It should be your thing. Shouldn't it be? Should be your thing. You should make it your thing for 2026. I mean, we're already halfway through, so it's like super low commitment. All right, we can't do that. You know what? Let's see if we can get this spin open here. This has been soaking. Sometimes if these soak, you can, overnight, you can get it out. Audrey did say you should get into repairing vintage, but you don't know, man. I didn't say get into repairing vintage. That's a whole other ball of wax, man. It really is, you know. I mean, it's not difficult to get into it, but it's really difficult to get out of it because you end up like me, and you have buckets and buckets of parts, and it just never stops. But you can enjoy a good vintage piece once in a while. Oh, and I just got a message from the show. Oh, I might have to buy these pens. Hang on, let me just double check this. And they are not vintage pens. This is stupid. This is stupid. Oh, fine pen. Wow, two nice sailors. Yes, it's David. Yeah, yeah. He's giving me he's trying to sell me pens all morning. Did I ask you, Mike, are you going to be around next week, or how far are you from David's place? Because I'm visiting David next week, later in the week. I just bought a pen. D. Uli, how you doing? You're not sure where he's in Durham. We're actually going to be over at. I'm flying in Wednesday, and then just kind of laying low on Wednesday. We're going to hang out with Crazy Alan, and then Thursday we're going to Franklin Christoph in the morning. And in the afternoon, we're going to the Crazy Alan shop, the new Crazy Alan. And I think we're having dinner with them, so I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty late. I just bought a pen. Lisa's gonna kill me. Oh, hey, by the way, honey. Oh. What the heck am I doing there? I'm just coming to visit. Originally, the plan was I was going to come and visit the following week because Lisa's going to Denmark on vacation, and she's taking our daughter. It's a family thing, so I'm not, and I'm not a woman, so I'm not invited because it's all the ladies. And so I thought, well, hey, if she's going to go on vacation, I'll go on vacation and I'll come and visit David. But it didn't quite work out because of stuff that's going on that week for him. So he said, well, why don't you come? And it wasn't going to work out for me to go to the show. So I said, well, why don't I just come the week before? That way Lisa can run the shop here, ship the packages and that stuff. And then I'll get home. Like, I'm only going to be there like Wednesday, I leave Saturday morning. And I think Lisa leaves Monday morning or something like that. Sunday morning. I can't remember when, but so there'll be no interruption in what's happening in the shop. So I'm just kind of hanging out for a couple days. And I wanted to go to Franklin Christoph, to talk about a few things anyway. So, we're going to get there before lunch and have lunch with Scott. And I've got my Franklin Christoph O2 that I just bought. And I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to try to do it today if I think about it. Do you mind taking a folding bike? Yeah, I know. Boy, is this jammed up. This is a perfect example of you just never know what you're going to get. It's a nice pen, but it is so stuck. We're going to let it soak. That's Prime Road, yeah. Well, I don't think David bikes, so I'm not going to go on vacation and then say, hey, I'll be back in 3 hours. Thanks for putting me up, But Mike, if you want, I can send you a message, send you a text on Thursday. When I figure out when we're going to be heading over to Crazy Allen's, if you happen to have the time and you want to shoot over there, otherwise, you'll be around. Okay, cool. Yeah, it'll be fun to see the shop. I can see the real Crazy Allen on Wednesday and see the new Crazy Allen on Thursday. So I hear the new owners are nice, real nice. So yes, I'm going on vacation and I'm going to a pen shop. I'm going to a pen manufacturer and a pen shop. I was just thinking the other day, man, I really need a break. Yeah, we'll work it out. Yeah, it'd be great if you could meet me there. But I'll have a better idea. I don't know how far that is from David's place or whatnot. We're also going to be doing some looking at some repair items and some things that I want to. Oh, that reminds me. I got to do that. Got to write myself a note. All right. See you later. Thanks for the raid. We're looking at a couple repair techniques and things, and a weird, strange project I want to do, and so even though I'm trying to take a break from doing pen stuff, pretty much all I'm going to be doing is mostly pen stuff. Gary, how you doing? Can you help by knocking down my inventory after stating yesterday you need to move some pens? I picked up the Esterbrook Model A. Yeah. Yeah, Model A is a nice pen because it's a little bit harder to find. You always find them in the B. Yeah, and then like A is less common and H is even more or less common. More or less common? Even further less common. It's not as common. Yeah, I got everything shipped out this morning. Thursday's our early day. We have to be here early because Lisa's boss starts the day at. She's got to be here at 6:45, and against my better judgment, I agreed that I was going to come in every day with her. I mean, it only makes sense. I don't have to. We can share the carpool. But yeah, we got to be here at 6:45. So I get a real early jump on shipping things. You bet Lisa has the credit card set up when there's a purchase, she is notified automatically. I don't know. I'm a little terrified because she gave me I was not expecting it, but she actually gave me a budget. And she's holding, essentially, we've got one of these PayPal debit cards, so when people pay with PayPal, I can use a debit card. She's holding a bunch of money in PayPal for me in case I need money while I'm on vacation. Okay, let's see. I'm going to test fit this because this looks a little bit longer than the other one. It looks like that will work. I'm going to toss this. That's weird that that's so short. Yeah, this one was short. You can see it's. So that's right. All right, so let's see. What do we got? that this guy is apart. We can put this together. Okay. Go. It's pretty clean. So let's get rid of some of the old shellac in here, so it's going to be easier to thread this on, since we might have to do that a couple times. So it's a special. It's got the black jewel, the highly polished chrome cap, and then the octanium nib. So everything lines up good, as it should. Okay, that looks good. Let's see where we're at with the rest of this. So there's some old ink on here. I'm just trying to scrape it out with my fingernail. You have to be careful with these Sterling breather tubes, because they will snap. Well, you know, this one has a feed channel. They don't all have that. So yeah, I guess the cat's out of the bag now. Um, if any of y'all in the North Carolina area next week, I'll be at Crazy Allen's, which is, I don't actually know where it is. Is it Chapel Hill? On Thursday afternoon. If anybody's in the area and wants to hang out, I don't know how long we're going to be there, but hang out, talk with the owners, talk a little shop, see what's cooking in the stationery industry on their end. But if you happen to be in the area and want to stop by, I definitely support your local pen shop. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Well, I know they would. Okay. I'm missing a piece here. You know, I'm going to put this in the Dr. G's as long as we're putting stuff in solutions. Let's just see what a few minutes in here will do. What does that smell like? Something else, huh? And make sure both holes, the one in the breather tube and the one in the feed, are not clogged. There. Grab a couple touchdown sacks. My ultrasonic is quite hot, so I'm going to let it cool down for a bit. I probably won't need it till much later today, so. Am I going to have Audrey custom grind a nib for me when visiting Franklin Christoph? Probably not. I'm thinking bigger picture without saying too much. I think you can probably read into that. But the guy's got to pick his rod stock, if you know what I mean. Might as well cut both of these. I'm going to need it one way or another. It will be nice to hang out with them, you know, when in a situation where it's not, you know, sometimes at a pen show, it's like, hey, how you doing? I'll let you go, you know. Someone else needs your time. Although I had a good conversation with Audrey in Chicago. I forget what morning that was. Probably Friday morning, Saturday morning. She wasn't busy at all. Good egg. Real good egg. I love the Madisons. They're awesome people. All right, so these guys are ready. Let's clean this up a little bit first. I am on the hunt for the last Franklin Christoph pen that I never kept. Pocket 40 in ice with the blue finial. So who knows? Apparently I sold more of those than I sold 19s. I was certain that that was not the case, but what do we think this guy? We should get a sack for this guy. This is a huge sack. I mean, look how big that is in the. That looks like almost like a 14. A 13 just fits so much better. A tiny guy, but boy, this thing goes all the way back. So it's actually a really decent ink capacity. I mean, you know, such that that is. But because the bar is attached to the lever, it can go back quite a ways. So, yep, and that's about right. Hey, whoops. Sorry about that. Whack. All right, let's go backwards, I guess. You know what? No, I'm not gonna seal this up because we're gonna ink it, and then it'll be easier to clean if we don't have to seal it up. But as usual, the first two in the tray we can't, for whatever reason, aren't cooking today. Hey. Also give us a good set of pens to finish up on Monday. You know, somewhere I've got a Jim Rouse custom grind 1 of 1. I really ought to find that nib. I think I know where it is. That he did for me one time. And Jim used to package the orders, or some of them. And so when we would place an order, Jim would write a note, you know. And one time he sent me this goofy, I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere. This goofy Angry Bird character with the arm that would go up, and arms that would go up and down and flap around. If you know Jim, he was really a goofball. And he sent me that, and he put the Franklin Christoph logo on the chest of the Angry Bird, and he put a nib in the taped a nib to the Angry Bird's wing. It was just goofy. It was just silly. But then he included a special nib for me. And he said, I finally figured it out. He said, I figured out how Esterbrook ground the Greg nib. And he grounds a Franklin Christoph nib to be like the Greg nib. Which actually was pretty super cool. I'm going to glue this on there. I'm going to be optimistic. I mean, I can't have a clipper or a sentinel just sitting around. Nice two-tone cap like that. Pastel blue. We're going to find something to make that work. So I've got a custom Jim Rouse ground Greg nib. Only one like it. I'm certain he never did another. All right, I got those. This guy is good. We're going to test those next time. I've never actually had Audrey grind a nib or do anything for me. Oh, that's coming out a little bit. I don't think it's going to get perfect, but it's no longer pink, so. Yeah, that's better. Gotta be careful today. I don't have a beverage to drink from, so all I have are my soaking glasses here. Which I just changed out this afternoon, so I don't want to drink a soaking glass worth of liquid. Gonna double check some of these fins in here. They're pretty good. They're not really. Not going to affect much, but I mean, it's a tiny, tiny. All right, let's put this back together. We're going to let that dry before we start to reassemble that. That's got to dry. That's okay, but we'll wait. These got to dry before we assemble anything. That one we can't get apart. Let's see if we can get that apart. I don't think that's going to come open. Let me look for a different nib. So this one's a palladium nib. Ooh, there's a potential candidate in there, I see. This nib is not really good. Well, I got to get something off here, so let's try this one. This nib looks bad, but the bag of good nibs is quickly dwindling. That looks good. We'll use that. So replace the fine with the medium. I'm just gonna, if I can get it out of here, I'm gonna take this out. I'm not even gonna bother soaking this. If I need it again in the future, then I know. Throw the rest of these back in the bag. All right. Clean out some of this stuff in the threads, and then we're going to ultrasonic it. I used to like these, but they're just really so hard to get open. All right. All right, so let's see. What else can we do here? We didn't really clean any of the caps, so we'll get to that next week, maybe. All right, so that's what we're going to work on next week. The Wahl Zero. 251s, 51 special. A couple touchdowns, a couple snorkels. And maybe we'll get this beautiful green one open. Okay, so let's see. I got to move some things around here. All right, we already looked at this sailor. I'm gonna put that off to the side. This is a target I'm cleaning. Here's the next project up for grabs. I was going through a binder full of pens yesterday, the day before, and I found this little guy. It's a Conklin 2P. It's in rather horrible shape. Highly over polished, chasing worn off. You can barely read the model number. It had a really ugly, horrible accommodation clip on it, so I took that off. Because, you know, even parts have to have some kind of. But I mean, look how shiny that is. There's two big chips in the cap lip. But it has this beautiful, beautiful number 2 nib, which I need for this really lovely military clip. What is this? A 2NL. So which is this one is a member of my collection. Some kind of tape residue on the back, but this is the short clip that they used for a military clip. And then it's funny enough, I was looking for the nib for this pen. And I bought a nib in Baltimore, and I thought for sure I needed a number 3, and it was a number 2. So I already have a 2P, and this one would otherwise just go in the parts bin. It's pretty sad. So we're going to use the nib. And resack this guy. And get him back to life. This is probably a pretty tired sack, but before I stretch it, there's actually a hole in it. If it turns gray, we know it's bad for sure. And it kind of turned gray. You see that? That's where I was hanging onto it right down here. It's probably got a little life left in it, but not much. Just to be sure, I'm going to soak this. That actually comes out, so we're good there. Two Conklins. Hey, Stretch. Yeah, one is, this is a nice 2NL with the military clip. That's been in my collection, and was missing the correct nib, or it was missing any nib at all. I can't remember the situation. But yesterday or the day before, I was looking through and I found this guy, which is just it's a solid parts bin is what this is. But it's got, chips in the cap lip. It's got heavy chasing wear. I mean, it's been polished on the buffing wheel within an inch of its life. There are better examples of a more common pen out there. So we're going to take that nib and put it in this guy, so at least this guy can be complete. Because this is by far a better, more valuable and earlier pen. And every once in a while, I got to work on one of my pens because you keep the interest when you work on your own stuff. And I think that's important. And I realize probably most people won't be able to relate. But I do a lot of pen repairs. I do a lot of pen repairs for other people. And I used to never work on my own pens. So yeah, it's a you know, it's got some oxidation. It's not too bad. It's actually got, you can see the remnant of where the original paper label was, which is kind of cool. We'll shine up this Crescent. It's heavily, this is what I would call, so if you've been on here long enough, sometimes you hear me talk about bad patina and good patina. This is what I call ugly patina. It just doesn't look good. It's not even. Backside's fine, but it just doesn't look good. There's nothing good about this. The patina on the nib that I'm swapping in is beautiful. So we're going to leave that. But I'm just going to clean this up. You want to pick up a Crescent filler to play around with any specific models you recommend? I mean, probably the most readily available is going to be a 20 or a 2NL. Both are kind of the same pen. That's a number 2 sized. This is a 2NL, which all NL stands for is non-leakable, which means it's a screw cap. But, you know, so is a 20. You know, they changed the numbering system a little bit later. So that first digit is the size of the nib. So, I mean, there's a 30, which is a number 3 size nib, and 40, and a 50, and a 75. And I mean, you know, there's... But 20s, anything with a 2 in the number. You know, this is a 2P, but it's got the same nib as a 2NL, but it's shorter. It's significantly P for pocket. You know, these days they're, you know, even the 20s are $100, more than $100, $125, $150. Someday I'll get myself one of the early overlays with the hog ring style. Crescent or hog ring style lock ring. That's just it's just better. It's just better. All right. Now it can patina nice and even. This nib here, on the other hand, this is really nice. Beautiful patina. It's perfect. Yeah, it's really beautiful. So it's really going to go nice in this pen. When I saw this pen, I immediately went, wait a minute. I think I need a number 2 nib. That is the perfect nib. When I looked at this pen, I said, no one's going to buy this pen. No one is going to buy that pen. And I'm going to spend $50, $40 or $50 to get the right nib for this guy. Yeah, someone tried to, I mean, look at this. This is nuts. I mean, they buffed the top flat. And the top is like flat. I mean, if you're trying to practice buffing, I mean, I guess, I mean, the whole thing, you can barely make out the imprint. You can barely see 2P right there. I had to look at it under a loop because I thought, well, if it's a model I don't have, any model I don't have is better, you know, in crappy condition is better than not having the model. Thankfully, I had it. I am going to clean off that part. It should just easily come off, yeah. Beautiful. Look at that. Yeah. All right. It's a great thing about crescents is there's just really not much to them. If they come apart nicely, you're probably good to go. Give it a quick rub down. We're just going to go over the clip with the little micro gloss here real quick. There's a little bit of junk right in there. As you can see. Much better. Gravity do its thing. Get it in place. Let's find a sack for it. It's probably good size. $17 almost goes all the way down. That's the other great thing about these is they, just like that Wahl, you get full length of your barrel. When you're sizing your sack. And look how big that is. It's awesome. And this is only essentially a number 2 sized pen. And this guy we'll just put back together. And we'll put this in the parts bin. Well, I tell you what, though, I don't know if they use the same. I'd have to look it out, take it out to look, but that's a little bit smaller, maybe. Nice patina on that. Don't really need to use talc, but I'm going to let that sit. I was going to put it together, but let that sit. This is going to go in the parts bin. All right. Enough of my pens. Next up on the docket. Got a 51 desk pen. Let's move this off to the side here. These are the same. Oops. We've got an Imperial cartridge pen, and let's see, this is a Fat Touchdown. That definitely needs help. And oh, this one's got an issue with the nib. We'll deal with that one later. So let's get if I get these 3 done, then I've got 3 desk sets that I can deal with. Hmm. There, with that, that's good to go. That's actually got okay patina. Well, it's a little dirty in between the nibs, so we're gonna, let's see, well, let's do this first. Let's open this up. So if I can get these done, I have more 51 desk pens desk sets that I can set up. Get clean. It's coming out clean, but underneath the nib it looks dirty, so that's why I'm trying to. Ow! Metal gets hot when it's heated, just so you know. That clutch ring, hot. Hang on. I just got a text message from Lisa. Are you streaming? Yes. What else? I mean, I guess I don't always stream. I guess I take a couple days off a month. There we go. So it looks okay, but it's not what I would consider to be clean. There's the Sterling breather tube. There's a little bit of shrinkage in there, but I think the bigger problem is this O-ring is probably hard as a rock. let's see. Yeah, it's pretty hard. Drop that in there. Let's see what's cooking under here. Nib needs a little help, but let's clean it up first. Still a little bit in there. There's actually quite a bit stuck on the right at the opening here. Well, let's see if that's it. No. Sure this one doesn't fit? It's too big. PFM. This part is not always glamorous, but there we go. Not always glamorous, but often. Yeah. Hopefully we can get this one, that nib back in alignment. It's actually got a really super cool base. What can you say? You're an optimist. Hey Gary, how you doing? Trying to keep warm. We'll send you some of our heat. No white dot. Where'd the white dot go? Did I have a white dot on there? Well then, I'm going to have to find a white dot, aren't I? That's the plug-in unit. Where are those guys? I've got some. Give me just a second. Gotta get ready for the podcast here. Apparently, we're still trying to get do you have some harvested white dots? Yeah, I do. Hang on. somewhere in here. I really need to do away with this little parts unit here because it's well, as long as we're looking in here, let's look at this. This can go in there. Oh, I think I know what. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? See, I could have looked in here for nibs. Oh, that's not the right one either. We should look at that one again. Okay, so my white dots aren't in there. Where are they? Yeah, I have some new old stock ones. Hang tight, I gotta look for them. Well, I had a bag of them. Where did they go? And they're teeny tiny, of course. This is frustrating when I can't find something. I have no idea where those are. I'm gonna have to look for those. Yeah, they just kind of pop in. Or find another taper. That's the other option. This is kind of a nice little Endura, huh? If I recall, yep. Maybe there was a problem with the lever here. I don't think this is going to go in. Yeah, this one's kind of nice. It's really got a nice color to it. That's the only thing holding this back. I'm not certain if this lever is actually good. Yeah, there's nothing holding this on. You're waiting on your official Tour de France 2026 guidebook to arrive? Nice. Is that the same one that the teams get? I had to laugh yesterday. I got an email from Claire Fontaine. I think it was Claire Fontaine. Um, and they were showing off some planner, some new planner that they have, and they had it for July, and they wrote on the top Tour de France, and then they had a yellow jersey and uh, meters of elevation. They had all these really cool things in there. It was like, okay, well, buy our planner. I'm like, wow, now you really know how to market, don't you? I mean, it was completely, you know, um, by chance, but all right, well, that's not gonna work. That needs a new lever is what that needs. Every time that starts up, it sounds like the sad trombone trumpet from the Snoopy's Peanuts movies. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, it's one guy in Australia does. You have a collection for the last 20 years, magazine format. Yeah, nice. There was one here that I got a number of years ago. I kind of wish I'd have kept it now. And I couldn't believe that they didn't do more like this. But yeah, you know, they got all the team members, all the stages, all the climbs. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna take this apart so remember to put a gasket in there Monday. Well, I'm almost done with watching the Giro. I hope to have it done. Actually, I really need to have it done before next week. Before I leave. I've only got a couple more stages to watch. 5 more, I think. Oh, well, that nib is not quite ready yet. This shows the teams, bikes, stages, and their history. Has great old photos of the tour. Specific writer proposed. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm a real big fan of very old, of old tour history. I missed a great number of years. Now, this patina on this nib, it's all kind of splotchy now. Now that the ink kind of got out, so. Which reminds me, the new Legacy chevron is finally out and is making its way to me. I just got tracking this afternoon. I haven't looked at it yet, but next week. Looks pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at this. This is pretty heavily oxidized here. You have the All Sorts ride tomorrow. You do it the first Saturday of each season. Old guys on old bikes. We have the same. We have had some vintage bike tour bikes show up. We have a guest speak at the end of the ride, and you have themes. And blokes turn up with old parts and gear. Guy from Japan comes to attend. Nice. I always thought it'd be fun if they would do one stage of the tour, and they would do it on 5-speed cassettes with down tube shifters, and do the Galibier or the Alpe d'Huez or Tourmalet or something like that. And you want a bike that Merckx did it on. Of course, we know that would never fly. UCI would have some reason to disqualify somebody for super lightweight. On one ride, you had Tyler Hamilton's bike that he rode the tour with. That's cool. I hate to say it, but my good bike is now considered a classic. Because it's 28 years old. Down tube shifters are so scary. The first few times you use them, I thought I was going to crash until I got used to them. Any problems finding parts for my bike? Well, so I had my bike custom made for me in '98 by Waterford, which was, for those obviously in the know, was in Waterford, Wisconsin. I was living in Florida at the time, and then when I don't know if it was a good idea or a bad idea, but probably a good idea. My choices were Pinarello or Waterford, and I really liked the idea that I could buy a bike that was made in Wisconsin. I'm certain it was probably I don't know. I'm not certain. Old bikes don't really have much in the way of value unless they're exceptionally rare, but I went with Waterford, and they originally spec'd the bike out for me with originally, I think, for a very, very short period of time, I had Ultegra 9-speed. And then I switched over to Campagnolo Chorus 9-speed. And I had that on it for a long time until a couple years ago. I bought, I won't say I exploited my local bike shop, but I've known her for a long time, and she had this deal during Christmas. She always does these, 12 days of Christmas. And she had a deal where if you bought I forget what it was. If you bought $35 in gift certificates, you would get 50. Something like that. You get more than you pay for. So I looked at her and I said, well, can I buy $1,000 and $800, $700 in gift certificates and get 1,000 or whatever the amount was. I forget what it was. You buy 75, you get 100. She looked at me and she goes, I guess so. I mean, it's, oddly enough, she hasn't done that deal since I kind of took advantage of it. But I mean, she got cash, and she got cash in an otherwise kind of slow season. So she was. I told her, I said, listen, if you don't want to do it, I'm totally fine with that. But if that's the deal, I'll give you cash. And I paid for my upgrade. And at the time, the upgrade was Campy 11. No, I'm sorry, 12. 12. And so I decided I was of a certain age that I wasn't going to wait anymore. Of course, when I bought my Chorus, there was no super record, so I got the second best I could get. And I wanted record, but I couldn't afford it. And so I bought Campy record this time, the irony being that record is actually the second highest in the product line now because they're super records. So didn't matter. I wanted record. I got record. Went on vacation, dropped off the bike, went on vacation, came back and had my 28-year-old, well, at the time, probably 26-year-old Waterford with Campy 12-speed on it. The problem is now like you can't get parts for, I guess maybe you can get parts for 12-speed. I upgraded my training bike to Campy 11, and now I can't get parts for it. So if they would just stop trying to upgrade everything every year. Steel is real, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, my Waterford is 853 lugged, because I love lugs. And I had actually spoken with Richard Schwinn about redoing my bike, because when I bought it, they didn't have the custom lug program that they later came up with, where they would literally send you blank lugs, and you would take a Sharpie and just mark them up. This is the design I want, The problem was I wanted the same tubes. I wanted the bike with different lugs, and they said, well, we can't really do that. We'll scrap it out for you and cover it under warranty if you want, but we can't. There's a lot of work to take the lugs off and just replace the lugs. So, and then they closed a couple years ago, and the company was bought up by another company in Colorado. Who, if I'm not mistaken, has not yet done any lugged lugged bikes. Australian guy living in Switzerland owns 75% of Pinarello. You got Campy record on the tie? Yeah, nice. When COVID was going on, you went to the small diner, you went to weekly, you bought $200 worth of gift cards for yourself. Kind of helped them out knowing that what they would be going. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it was funny. She's like, well, no, nobody's ever done that before. But I guess it doesn't say you know, my policy doesn't say you can't. And oddly enough, she didn't do it again last year. I think it was 2 years ago. You know, because it's like, you know, it's 12 days of Christmas or whatever, and it'll be like, you know, today it's 25% off lights, you know, and the next day it's 15% off backpacks or whatever, you know, snowshoes. There was no gift certificate option. Boy, is that tight. Come on. And originally, Waterford carried what they called a forever warranty, which I thought was actually pretty cool. It was warranted forever. Except we never expected that Richard Schwinn would retire and then like close the shop. I guess we just all figured he was going to live. I mean, he's still alive, but we figured he would live and work forever. It was forever as long as the company exists warranty. Yeah. I was going to do a repaint at some point too, but because after 25 years, you get paint chips, and I had gotten new paint, but it was not meant to be. There's a little gummy down there. Let's see if this will. Threads look good here. Yeah, that's better. That's kind of true for all the small pen makers too. Yeah, right. Wow, we just never thought, because that factory had been around since, gosh, the 60s. They made Schwinn Paramounts in Wisconsin. Some of you of a certain age, older than me, you grew up with Paramounts. That was the bike to have. Shoot. But I chose Wisconsin made over Italian made. I was a little homesick too, I suppose, living in Florida. Work. Yeah, I mean, you look at Hardy Penwrights. We've had a couple of his pens in here, and he passed away a couple of years ago. You just hope that they don't. I mean, someone could probably. If you needed a part made or something, somebody could do it, but. Just to have a Schwinn bike back then was a thing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, not everybody had a Paramount, but Continental was pretty popular. Hardy is still going. His son's making them. Oh, okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that. Yeah, thanks for that info. So there was a little bit of a succession plan, I guess. Well, out of necessity, I'm sure. And it's good that his son is interested enough to do it. Because hard as you may try, sometimes your kids want nothing to do with what you do if you're a business owner. Oh, there it is. I'm going to do this. Found this to work better. Push that in first. So if you put this in there, it really makes it hard to. Screw it down. Come on. South of Rochester? Two and a half hours west. Well, that's working nicely. 3:30. Let's get a sack on this guy. We'll have a bunch of stuff to test on Monday. Okay. Oh, we gotta. Well, now I gotta commit because I gotta fix this nib, don't I? It's just spread a little bit. These nibs are so thick, they're hard to adjust. Without busting my nail here. Well, we'll see if that works. Oh, shaking the whole place. All right. Let's see. We need a big sack for that guy. Need to put that little ring on there. some old adhesive on there. That won't need anything. It'll be held on by friction anyway. Do we think this is dry? Yeah, it's dry. Beautiful. That's going home with me anyway, so. Now it can be complete. I'm going to look one more place. Maybe I had those white dots in here at one point. No, but I need that. Well, we'll look at them. We'll look for them next week. No idea where those buggers are. So next week we get to test a bunch of snorkels, 51s, all that good jazz. At least this one's at least good. This is good, but cosmetically needs that jewel. This one, we'll have to see if the nib is good. Others will need some nib adjustments. So then we've got, this is the nice base for the touchdown. Isn't that pretty? Needs a little felt. I'm going to put some felt on there. The 51's got a great base. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? A little rough on the bottom, but the top is really just beautiful. And the Imperial, kind of a standard black square base. So that's what I got cooking. I got another Sheaffer over there, but I've got to I gotta find a nib for it because the nib is all kind of knackered up, and I don't think straightening it is a real, I mean, it's possible. It's always good to have nib practice. But they're not. I mean, it's mostly even, which is good. But it's a number 23 nib, so it should be easy. I should probably have something sitting around here that's got that in it. So, all right. I'm going to call it a day. I've got to wash my hands and get ready for the podcast, which will be 4:15 maybe. If we can put it together, it was 4:30 at the latest, and we'll go from there. So thanks everyone for tuning in today. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll be back here on the stream on Monday and Tuesday next week only. But we'll see you in a few minutes on the podcast. Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye now.